Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to everybody watching.
Yes. Happy Monday.
Yes.
It is Monday again. Do
Woo-hoo.
y'all realize how fast these weeks are going in and out? We get to the weekend super fast, but then, gosh, Monday comes like twice as fast.
Yes.
And so we're here again.
Yep, we are here again, but it is my favorite time of the week.
Yep.
This podcast has made Monday mornings my favorite time of the week.
It really has.
It's a cure. Like it really,
Yep.
you know, you're like, oh, I got to go to work this morning. It's like, I get to go to work this morning.
And hop on that podcast
Yeah.
and talk to all of our people. Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. As you can see, we're here together with a very special guest. We have a newbie amongst us.
Yes. Who
Yes.
is it?
Good morning, guys.
The one and only.
Yes, I'm Stephanie Wilkes. I'm the new library director here at Delta, and I'm just loving this vibe and this energy this morning. This is good stuff.
It is good stuff.
It
Now
is.
you see how we feel every Monday morning.
Yep.
Yes, I felt great all the way to work this morning. So
Awesome. Yeah. And we're excited to have you. So if for those who don't know, this is our new director of library and learning resources. Did I get that right?
Yes, it's super long.
Yay.
So, super long.
And we're just so glad to have you. We're going to get to know Stephanie today during our feature. So y'all get to know who the new library director is. But we do have a question of the day that I wanted to be on theme for, since we are talking to our library
book.
director.
Yes, I get it. Dot.
Yes.
Connecting the dots. Let's go. We want to know, like everybody answers at the table, and drop your answer in the chat.
Yes, for
What
sure.
is your favorite book and why?
Okay. I can. What Stephanie bought
I totally brought like a show and
a
tell.
total librarian.
That is amazing.
Okay, but like that is like the question. The question, like I sat down last night and I was like, that is impossible. Like I've been reading since I was like 4. How do you pick your favorite book? Because I have favorite books at different
Girl,
seasons.
You were born to be a librarian.
Man, this is my dream job.
I mean, did
for
you
real.
ever? We'll answer. We'll do those questions later.
Yes.
It's so hard not to dig in.
So like my favorite book for this season of life right
Okay.
now, I'm on this really big like transformation season.
Uh-huh.
And so I've been reading a lot of Brene Brown. And
I love Brene Brown.
Yes, girl.
Oh, she is so awesome. I love Brene Brown.
Yeah, so a friend recommended her books to me, and I read one, and I fell in love because it felt like I was like talking to a friend. Like she spoke to me, to my heart. And so Daring Greatly is like my favorite book. I've read it 3 times since Christmas because I just love it.
I mean,
right
you can
now.
always go back, because I listen to her often, and you
Yes.
can always go back and get a little bit more, something that you didn't catch before. And I think at different seasons of your life, there are different messages that stand out
Oh, for
in
sure.
her material. I mean, she is phenomenal.
For sure. I mean, this book right here is like the highlight of all the things that are going on through my life right now. My director job, you know, having staff now and learning how to lead courageously, but also like be okay to fail and be vulnerable.
Exactly. And give that to your people.
Yes. Like
And allow that your people to be that way.
sure.
I mean, she really speaks a lot to the characteristics of leadership.
So that is my favorite book of
Yay.
this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of this season.
You
So-
know, we'll allow you to change it, you know, as time
Oh, I'll
passes
keep
by.
coming back and we can talk about it every season if we need to.
Yes.
So
Shoot, that may change like from week to week. I mean, it just depends.
it
Yeah.
will. Well, what's your favorite book?
Okay, so my favorite book of all time, and I couldn't talk about favorite books without making a pit stop here first, because this is my foundational book, and that's the Bible. Because for me, it's the only book that can really dig me out from where I've been. It's the book that meets me where I am, and it's the book that guides me where I need to go. So, I mean, that is foundational to me. I mean, it's everything to me. It's life-giving. It's full of wisdom. It's funny. It's sobering. It's very serious. It's loving. It's gentle. It's all the things. And, you know, a lot of times we look at Bible characters like, okay, you know, they're like Bible characters, not really real people. But, I mean, y'all, it was some stuff going on. I mean, the stuff that we see happening in the world today is not any different than what has happened back in the times. I mean, you know, we could have taken some of the lives of those characters and made soap operas out of them, and
for
it would
sure.
have been very interesting stuff. So I really, really do love it, and it is my favorite book, period. But one book that I am reading now is, I just got turned on to this one author, Jonathan Axe, and his book, Think This, Not That. And it's really, it takes an approach of really helping you to dig into yourself, and I love that kind of stuff. My husband tried for years to get me to dig deeper, and boy, when I finally decided to do it, it's like it has unleashed something in me. But his approach is, the whole thought of his book is digging deeper within yourself to figure out what are the things that, what are your thoughts that you've given life to that hinders you from being or doing the thing that you want to be or do. And so he really charges individuals with the responsibility to evaluate your thought life. And a lot of times we get so busy in life that we're just going and doing and going and doing, and we often don't stop to ask ourselves, why did I think that? Or why do I think that? Why did I feel that? And we're living in a society that really promotes feelings and emotions. And, while, yes, you should, God gave us feelings and emotions, but they shouldn't rule our lives. We should question why we feel something, and challenge its validity, or to see where that question takes us. It may take us to another place that we need to look at and evaluate. And so anyway, that, I'm reading that book now, and it is so fully interesting. It really, really is.
I'll probably buy it before the end of the day. I'll probably buy it in a minute.
Look, I was listening to Craig Rochelle, and he was interviewing this guy. And while the interview was going on, I went to Amazon Books and bought his book. And I'm like, this guy is just so interesting.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that sounds like totally my thing right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm all there for that. What about you?
So I'm just gonna go for one of my favorite all-timers because I'm not in the middle of a book that I'm really enjoying right now. One of my favorite books of all time is The Turning Point by Fritjof Capra. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but for a marketing nerd like me, that book is everything because it's all about how brands kind of turned things around in extreme circumstances for research-backed strategy. And so it talks about all kinds of case studies from Sesame Street to the New York subway, to just kind of talk about how they've changed like their brand image as well as just made the world a better place through tiny little changes. And it talks about how there's different kinds of consumers where, you have consumers that are like the mavericks who, they're going to find out things. Yeah, they're kind of the trendsetters. Early adopters. And then, people who are like researchers who do the research about products. And it's just a great book for any marketer to read.
It's still that sounds interesting though.
It's
did
great.
They answer
Even
the
before
question?
I was a marketer, I really enjoyed that.
Did you really? So does it answer the question? Because this is always an interesting topic amongst people, that are in our field or related to our field. So do marketers drive products, or does that drive come from people?
So this is so interesting. It's about, I was actually watching something on trends yesterday. It's because there's all these YouTubers and influencers who do the videos of like what's in 2025 and what's out, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but is it going to be out because you as an influencer has stated it, so even though it was just a prediction, or are you really making prediction that the masses are going to follow,
and they're based on a trend,
own.
an existing trend,
or an existing like something coming over the over the hill or whatever. So it's interesting. It's like chicken before the egg. What does come first? Who drives that? But I say my opinion, the people are always going to be driving what's popular. I mean, there's stuff that comes out that like Crocs when they got popular again.
Don't hate.
I was like, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater.
Don't hate.
I'm not a crocker.
I'm not a
I am
Crocker,
not a
but
Crocker.
hey, Crocs like changed their whole
people do
brand.
love them.
They
Yep,
do.
people love them. There are people who will defend them, like
Yeah, obviously.
like
So
that's the power of the people. That's not the power of the company.
but was there an influencer who came out ahead of that to promote it and made it cool?
It was me in Ruston.
It was you
in
and Rustin.
2002.
Okay, so
I
Stephanie
had a pair of
had-
hot pink
Stephanie
Crocs.
started it.
Stephanie had Rustin down on lock, so she influenced all the Rustonites. But I mean, really, because people understand the power of fame and that platform that famous people have.
Right,
That's
celebrity.
why, the celebrity. That's why they have celebrities, being their spokespeople. So was there some celebrity who first pushed Crocs that made them so?
I think about
Yes,
social media. I
famous.
mean, in like 20 years, social media has changed so much. In 10 years, 5 years, I mean,
Yeah.
how would you have known that celebrities were endorsing that 20 years ago?
Commercials.
Just the commercials. But
Just the
now
commercials.
it's like every time you scroll through, it's those algorithm feeds,
Yep.
Yep.
I clicked on
Yep.
a pair of Nikes. Now all I see are Nikes.
Exactly.
Every 4 posts.
Yeah.
So
I did that. That happens all the time. But the stuff that I buy, it's like, okay, you're that smart. How come you hadn't figured out that I've already purchased this thing? Stop sending me this. I've already got it.
You got that the
Yeah.
algorithm. Take
Yeah.
Miss Darian's notes.
Yes, please stop stalking me.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I already have that purse.
Y'all, we're not even past the first segment yet.
I
and
know.
We're just
11
We're-
minutes in still on the first question.
I know.
on,
So
Cameron.
I know I'm slacking. So we're gonna move on to our upcoming events, and then we'll get into it. There we are. Okay.
Right.
We only have, I think, just one news. Oh, yes, two. So go ahead and talk about the breakfast.
Yes, on the Monroe campus, or for those who might want to visit the Monroe campus, especially today or tomorrow, we have our welcome back breakfast. And so we have iced and hot coffee, all the different flavors. If you like me, you like a variety. And also casserole muffins, and that really got my attention.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over like as soon as we're done with this podcast.
buy that book, and,
And
then I'm going to
get me
get
a casserole muffin.
Yes, that
exactly.
sounds great.
And a treat tomorrow. They're having, in addition to these things, they're having king cake. So you king cake
Woo!
fans, make your way on over. That's tomorrow, not today, but they'll have everything else too for tomorrow. The brewed and the iced coffee and the casserole muffins.
Let's go, Delta.
And that is all sponsored by the SGA. We have such an amazing SGA. I
Oh
just
my
want
gosh,
to send a
they're-
shout out to them
yes.
and to Dr. Thomas, who leads that group. They always do an outstanding job with everything. She demands excellence.
They really do. And speaking of excellence, we have one person in the chat who said, Kojak65 says, "Me too. I was in Ruston wearing them too, Stephanie."
Yes, that's right. You knew what was up.
I'm not sure who that is. The username isn't telling, but thank you very
Brilliant
much.
person.
Somebody
brilliant
backing you
person.
up. Yes.
I mean, but are they really that comfortable?
They are. They really are that comfortable. And but I
Really?
have hot feet, so I like air to flow over
yeah,
my
I'm with
feet.
you on that. I'm with you.
circulation.
I find myself taking my shoes off a lot.
Yes, I would rather be barefoot or air flowing over my feet.
Okay, and the Crocs do it for
They
you.
do.
I'll
Yeah.
change the episode
And then they
title
do
to
it now for the
Crocs.
kids where they have the little things that they put attached to
Or
them.
the adults.
Okay.
I have Harry
didn't
Potter
realize.
ones.
Ah,
Okay, well, look.
there you go. Oh, not sponsored by Crocs. Although,
But we could- if you
you're
want to.
interested, we would
We
love
could get
that.
some little Delta
Hey,
Croc
Croc
charms.
Croc people, we can talk.
Absolutely. We also have one more event coming up this week on Tuesday, tomorrow.
Okay.
We have the first ever LDCC wide welding challenge tomorrow at 9 a.m. It's supposed to go all day at West Monroe. So this event came about, I think it was an idea from Melissa Lacoste and Rock Frost. they were talking about how Skills USA, you know, they often just kind of pick random people to go on the welding team, and they wanted instead this year to be kind of a fair shot for everybody to have a fair shot to
Right.
be able to go to Skills USA. So I believe it's 4 fabricators and 2 pipe welders will be selected through this competition, whoever's the best, and they'll be able to go to Skills USA to represent our college. So
Yeah, so any employees, if if you have time to go and check out and just show up to give some support on tomorrow, no, not tomorrow. Where is it? Yeah, that is tomorrow.
It sure
Tomorrow
is.
morning.
Yes.
Yep.
Just pop in and, just show some support. I mean, I'm sure that would mean a lot to Melissa Lacoste and to Rock and to the students as well. And plus, just promotes good team spirit there.
Absolutely.
Team
I feel like
support.
it has like a flash dance kind of thing. Wasn't she a welder? And she like welds in her montage.
Oh my gosh.
And Flashdance,
Yes.
Irene Cara.
Yes, wasn't
Yes,
she a welder?
I think
Like that is like
so.
all I envision is like going to see.
Wow.
Girl, you are really going back on the 80s this morning.
I'm in the
Y'all,
80s.
she was,
Yeah.
look,
I sang.
Stephanie was singing 80s music this morning.
Yeah, can't
Before
help
we got
it.
started. I mean,
we were living on a prayer,
Yeah.
knocking on heaven's door.
Yes.
We were doing everything.
And so now she's on Irene Cara. Yeah, but that was the movie.
That was the movie,
That
right?
was
But
the
I feel like this
movie.
welding challenge will be like that. It's going to be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it
yeah,
will be amazing.
I think so. I think so. Very dramatic, but
It will be
competitive in a
hot.
good way. It,
Sparks will fly.
Sparks will fly.
oh my gosh! When we write the commercial
is
for it, I'll
awesome,
consult
yes.
you too.
Yeah, that will be fun. So yeah, if you can show up for that, if it's just a few minutes, stop by and do that.
Absolutely. And now we're gonna move on to our upcoming. Oh, that graphic's been up there the whole time, but we're going to news and upcoming. In case you missed it. Every time.
That's actually that was 80s, but 80s and 90s. So Ricka scratch music. House
Yes.
music. Yeah, I was in high school.
DJ Darian.
Yep. High school house parties. Boy, tapping into some memories.
You telling on yourself.
Hey, those were fun times. I gladly claim those.
Cameron, were you born?
No.
I was born in 2001.
Stephanie.
Hold on. I need to get that reaction on camera.
I was a senior in high school. Oh,
Sorry.
no, don't be sorry. You have so much wisdom.
I was graduating from college. She is a very old young person.
Okay.
I mean, she really is. She's a very old young person.
Oh, I love it.
I
Which
guess
is
an
great
old
for this
soul.
area, for this job. I mean, because you need that. You need someone young enough who is
She's on trend.
well, yeah.
On
She-
trend.
Yeah,
I love
she
it.
is in tune with all the new stuff. But she is old and has the wisdom to be able to understand how to use it and how not to use it. So
I
I
love
try,
that.
you
I told her
guys.
this morning she speaks with
She's
such
great
passion
balance.
about her job. I love it. Like her eyes sparkle when she talks about what she
yes,
does.
she loves it. That's why she's sitting in this seat.
Y'all are
Yes.
so sweet. Thank you, y'all. Speaking of passion, our Black Male Mentorship Program gave 3 scholarships to 3 deserving students.
That was wonderful. I saw that.
Absolutely.
I saw a picture. I'm not sure. Cameron, you took pictures, didn't you?
I sure did. I was
The
there.
picture of the guy, whoever that was, hugging I guess it was the mom or the grandmom.
Yes.
Y'all.
That
oh,
was
my heart.
so. Oh my goodness.
And I have
Such
to
a
tell
tender
y'all,
moment.
Tell y'all about that. So it was kind of an impromptu program. It was originally supposed to be a photo op, but it kind of turned into a program because the students ended up inviting people to, because they were proud and wanted to see their
Honey,
people.
I
Yes.
would too.
Yeah,
I would
me
be like
too.
all the
Absolutely.
neighborhood folks.
Exactly. And so we, when that happened, Ryan was there. Ryan's not here today. I know that
Yes,
there's
yes.
a big open space where
We didn't have to
he
put out
would
flower
be.
petals for him to walk on this morning.
Yeah, it was kind of nice actually to not
I
have to
know.
roll out the red carpet.
I
but-
know. I see how he sold me out. He was like hyping me up to be here, but then he didn't want to show up. But that's cool.
But he has a very legit excuse.
He
He's
does.
being being very present for his wife, and he's
yes.
using wisdom this morning.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, that going with your wife, that's really the most wise thing you can do.
Exactly.
Forgiven.
Yep.
But yeah, so Ryan was there, and he helped lead the program. Dr. Thomas, SGA came out, and each student was given a chance to have kind of a public speaking moment to talk about their experience with the Black Male Mentorship Program, and then also kind of what the scholarship meant to them. And each student did an amazing job, and had moving stories about where they're from and why they're in the program and what the program has done for them so far. And the one hugging his grandmother is Nathan Bowley, who's in the middle in their 3-person shoot. And
You may want to put that on the screen so everybody can see.
Yes, great idea.
Okay,
And
there we go.
Told
So
y'all I
it's-
can't yap and do
Oh
stuff
yeah,
at the same time.
so that one on the bottom left corner.
Yes, yeah.
That's the one that I was referring to. Such a sweet, tender moment, because don't you know that woman is so proud?
I know you can
Yes.
see it.
Yeah.
She was, and she actually, after he got done speaking, the big moment was he thanked her, because I think she raised him for the most part.
Oh, wow.
And his dad was there too, and he, thanked his dad. And after that, after he was done, he went to go hug them immediately, and then she spoke on, just how proud of she was.
Oh, that
Nathan.
is so beautiful. Sweet.
I
It
love
was
it.
amazing. It was a really amazing moment. It kind of reminds you, why we do what we do. It's one of those why moments for sure. So
Yeah.
but yeah, congratulations to all these students. We have on our left, that's Marcus Jackson, Nathan Bowley in the middle, and then on the right side, Perry Baker. So they were all awarded the scholarship for this semester, and I believe they had to earn at least 15 credit hours, enrolled in a minimum of 6 credit hours per semester, maintain a cumulative GPA of 2.0 or higher, and they had to write a thoughtful 2-page essay that LDCC faculty read.
So they had to put some skin in the game. That's great.
Exactly.
But you know what? This is an example of how we're nurturing community. You look at that. You see the home life being present. You see the male mentors being present. You see an extension, the SGA being present.
Yep.
And
And others in the program came out too to celebrate, their fellow members.
See, you're right. This is why we're here.
Absolutely.
This is why we're here. And it does take, it really does take a village. None of us get to where we are by ourselves. And it really does take a village, and LDCC is a part of many people's village.
Absolutely. Yep. So
Proud moment.
That was definitely a proud moment. Another proud moment that a lot of the Black Male Mentorship Program members also came out to was MLK Day of Service, which was huge, like every year. Such a big turnout throughout the community. There were, the fraternities, sororities who came out, and just a lot of community members who came to donate and to help sort food, help load food. And as you can see, one of the organizations did donate a check to the food pantry. I can't remember who it was, so I'll have to get that and make sure to thank them on our social media. But yeah, and a lot of our LDCC folks came out too. So it was a really amazing time, amazing event. I got up on the ladder and took the big group pictures of everyone.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a really, really large group this time. And it was probably more people than there was things to do, and that's such a great thing.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, I feel like we're about to outgrow the auditorium just because there were so many people there.
A lot of ULM students.
Oh, I did see that.
Yep. Yeah, so that was a successful event as always. Again, shout out Dr. Thomas, who usually takes the lead on that event, and everybody
actually,
else who helped. There's a committee now, isn't there?
Dr. Thomas, yeah, it is. Dr. Thomas shouted out the PR department, so shout out to you, Cameron, for the way that you handle that. So kudos.
That's great. That's very sweet of her.
Yes.
It was a really good time, y'all. Next, another ATC auditorium moment in Monroe was the Rise and Thrive Gronila breakfast. That was last week.
Talk to us about that.
Yes.
Yeah, so as you can see, Katie Comer from Meta was there, who's kind of overseeing the project of the Meta data center being built. she's more over the project of like the community aspect of it, is what I understood from what she was talking about. But there was so many people there that almost outgrew the auditorium. There was a ton of community members that came out to find out more about the Meta Center. A lot of questions were answered. One of the concerns I had is just how it's going to affect the ecosystem around our I mean, it's kind of a rural area where it's being built, so I didn't know what the impact on the environment would be, and she was able to speak on that to explain their commitment.
Catch up everyone who may not have tapped into the news stream about that, what the Meta Center is.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. So if you
Pretend
haven't
we know
heard,
nothing.
the Meta is coming in through a partnership with Gronila to build a data center, which will be in Richland Parish. The data center site is going to be for storing data through Meta, and then also transferring data, which she explained it as, when you go to post something on Facebook, post something on Instagram, those data centers are necessary to hold that information and then also transfer that information over the internet, which that's as far as my understanding goes of the science behind it.
Okay.
But it's going to be a huge
Economic boost, I hear, for the
Yes.
area, and even life-changing for the region.
Yeah, it's going to
Northeast
open
Louisiana
up a
is
ton of
about to look
jobs.
completely different.
Yeah.
It's fairly exciting.
Yep. So, and the timeline is, I would say it's relatively short. She said it was going to take a while, but she said 7 or 8 years it would be up and running. And, there's so many jobs that are even opening up now just for the construction of the site, a lot of which we have at Delta, HEO, heavy equipment operators, OSHA 10.
Our welders as well.
Welders,
Yes.
yes. So there's already
HVAC.
opportunities opening. And that's going to be one of the big ones whenever it's up and running, because they have to run coolant to make sure that.
Well, and they have to lay everything out too. I mean, and for all of that. So yeah, lots of opportunity for people looking to maybe even change careers. Those who want to secure employment in those areas. I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunity.
A lot of information technology opportunities that we can provide training on here at Delta. A lot of those codings.
And if they start training now for it,
They'll be ready.
they'll be ready.
Ready to enter that workforce.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's going to be a huge deal. And the community showed up and showed out and people understand what this means for there's bringing more people in.
Lots of excitement.
Did you see I think there's a post that's been on Facebook, of how big the data center actually will be in comparison to like the island of Manhattan.
I have not seen that.
It is almost as big as Manhattan.
Wow.
Like it is going to be enormous. Wow. I
I
can't even
wonder
imagine.
if, in comparing it to the carton plant, because that's like the carton plant right up here on 594. Because that's a huge facility. I wonder what it's like in comparison to that one, because that's like actually the largest carton plant in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't
Right
wait.
here in Monroe.
I mean, I would love to I just can't even wait to go drive by and watch the
Right,
progress.
yeah.
Like, I'm looking forward to that.
It's
I
very
was
exciting.
excited about the Amazon plant right here next door. I mean, that was exciting.
Yes.
It really was.
Yeah. Having a big name come here.
Maybe
like
they could bring
that.
me my book really quickly.
We
I
could
go and
just
order
maybe
it.
they'll just let
Maybe
us
I'll
go
just
and
walk
knock
over.
over on the door and just say, "Hey, I'm here to pick up order for."
Excuse me, do you have Think This, not that?
Yeah, there you go. Jonathan Axe.
Oh, but yeah, that's going to be super exciting.
It will.
Something else from Ruston, something really fun that day they did was a
Oh,
bash
they
booth.
look like they had tons of fun, y'all.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they did like props and everything. I looked on the Bash Booth website, and usually they do weddings and just different events. And oh my gosh, that just looks fun. Just
Yeah.
taking pictures, and I mean,
They're
you
the
can-
first campus to do that.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
Yep, and I
We've
think
not
we've
had
had
one
it
of those at
for
any other campus.
Hats and Horses before.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's for Hats and Horses. We've done that before, or something like
Are
that.
those the people who were here for Hats and Horses?
I'm not sure if they're the same, but
But it's same concept, though.
yes, yep. And it looks
Yeah,
like
they
it was
look like they
amazing
had a
time.
blast.
Oh, yes. What
Yeah.
a great way to kick off the new semester.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, get some energy in the January months and the cold.
The
so.
January months.
Yeah.
It is the 1100th day of January.
It really is. I mean, I'll keep looking at my watch like it's still January.
It is
like
still January. Yes.
Something else from Ruston. They had Quitman High School come tour the Ruston campus. They also took a test, which was I'm gonna pull it up here in a second, the U Science Career Aptitude Assessment.
Ooh.
So that kind of tells them, what they want to be when they grow up. It's kind of, Ashley Ellis can tell you all about it. She is very well versed in that assessment and the effects it can have. But it's great for high schoolers because it tells you what kind of skills you have and what you would really be great at, doing what you would want to do when you grow up. So they took that at Ruston, and they also got to tour the campus while they were there.
That's awesome.
All right. Speaking of Ashley Ellis, you can take that. Speaking of Ashley Ellis, be looking for her as a feature for LDCC in this upcoming, February's edition of Bayou Life. Oh, yeah, so
nice.
she's our feature for this time. So yay, go Ashley. Also on the news front, and I forgot to put this in Week at a Glance. Forgive me, Nathan. Congratulations to Johnny Norman on getting married. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
Wait, is this a moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, there you
Perfect.
go. Yay. Yeah. So, big congrats.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. From one married person to another. Congratulations, Johnny. He's probably glad it's over because it has probably been a stressful few months.
For the guy.
But-
Maybe not as bad.
Right. Yeah, it probably is not as bad for him.
They
but
just show up.
All right,
literally.
and Stephanie, you can officially send out your shout out to your people live.
I can.
You
So
can.
our LDCC Library and Learning Resource Center crew are amazing. Whenever I came out, I fell in love immediately. So shout out to Logan in the Learning Resource Center. He is the most knowledgeable person that I have ever met, and the biggest hockey fan, and the biggest, we like to nerd out together. He is amazing.
Yes.
Are
Marty,
y'all Monroe Moccasin fans?
I'm
Do y'all
not
go
a
to the
hockey
game?
person yet.
Okay.
Yet. The family has been, I was out of town on vacation when they went, but Logan will win me over, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
He tells me about it all the time. So, and then Marty has been holding the fort down while they've been waiting to get a new
Marty
director.
is a superstar.
She is a genius.
She is a superstar.
She is wonderful. And then we have Sky in tutoring, who is the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Again, brilliant. We have the most brilliant people working in the Library and Learning Resource Center. Dana is the sweetest person on the face of the earth.
Aw.
And she knows everything there is to know about the online systems at Delta.
You have a very capable staff.
They're amazing. And we have a new staff member, Christian. She started last week. She's a new
Okay.
student worker.
Awesome.
Oh, great.
And immediately trumped me for most well-read in the library. She's read over 300
wow.
books.
Oh, my
Wow.
God.
Yes. I was like, oh, you, okay. Okay. She's a medical coding student. And so
Is she?
She is. And so, it's just a phenomenal staff. And I
Very interesting.
this would not have been an easy transition without those people. So huge shout out to the staff. I love them.
Oh,
They're
that is
wonderful.
so sweet.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Logan is very knowledgeable, and he has been so integral for the events that have been happening out of the library. And
Yes.
I get to work with him a lot on those, and he's just phenomenal. Everything he does, he tackles it with, I want to do
His
this the
whole
best
heart.
I can.
Yes.
I mean, his
does.
whole heart.
Yep.
I mean, he is so fully invested, which is great. Dr. Thomas, Nathan Hall is sending a shout out to you and thanking you for organizing the MLK Day of Service. He says, Dr. Thomas is a change agent for good in our community. Thanks to all who came to help. We have so many people at LDCC. So many great people at LDCC. I love seeing all the good things people do who work at LDCC, and that was from Nathan Hall. So Dean Thomas, Dr. Thomas, there you go. There are your flowers. You can do that for Dr. Thomas as well. Yay.
Woo,
I should never be in charge of the confetti.
For that MLK Day of Service, Dr. Thomas said 173 people attended and over 1,500 items were collected, and
Amazing.
$250 was given to the college's Promise Pantry. So
Oh,
phenomenal.
what a blessing.
Community, y'all.
Yes.
I mean, community. That's fabulous.
That's amazing.
That is.
All right, we spotlighted a lot of folks, but we're about to move into the spotlight that we're here for. Get into our
should have
feature,
prepared,
y'all.
If we had known, we should have prepared an 80s intro. For
Oh,
her.
Oh
do I
my
need to sing?
gosh.
I'm
We'll
just
let you
kidding.
sing right after the intro. And Stephanie.
Yes. Hello, Darian. Hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
Oh,
So all about Stephanie. Now, I have known Stephanie for, gosh, I don't know. I don't remember what year it was we actually
probably about 17
met. Yeah, it's been
years.
a long time
Right before I
ago.
got married. So,
and,
yeah,
and a whole other life.
for sure.
Stephanie and I crossed paths at Girl Scouts of Louisiana. Were we Pines to the Gulf?
Pines to the Gulf. We were in the
then?
middle of that transition. It was a really long time ago.
That was a really long season.
That was a whole different
That was a
Stephanie.
hard. That was a hard season.
Yes.
But we were in it together.
Yes, we were.
Yeah, and that was pre-hubby.
Pre-husband,
Pre-kiddos.
pre-children.
Yeah.
Yes, pre a lot of things.
This was, you were emerging as a grown-up.
I was still very much a 20-something college graduate trying to figure it out.
Still smart as a whip, just as, smart like she is today. But a whole lot of life ahead of you. Still a whole lot of life, but
Yes.
more experienced on this side of that. What has happened? Fill in the gap.
Oh, I will fill in the gap.
Yeah.
So, I am a librarian through and through. I have a master's in library science, graduated from LSU. And I have worked now for almost 20 years in libraries. I've done about 6-7 years in public libraries. And I loved it. I worked with young adults. I love students. I love working with them. Under one of the greatest mentors of my library career, shout out to Jeremy Bolam. Like, without him, I would not be the librarian I am today.
Oh.
And then I had a kid, and that work schedule was not working out for me. And
So library hours. I mean, were you working?
well, when you work with students, they're out of school at 3, and so my hours would actually be like a more like 11 to 8 kind of
Okay.
thing. So I wanted to be there when the students were out of school.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so it didn't allow me a lot of time to mom like I wanted to mom.
Yeah.
Even though I loved what I did. So I needed to find a new avenue to mom the way I wanted to mom.
Okay.
And so I went into school librarianship and at Good Hope Middle
yeah.
School. And I miss my people.
Tawana Calhoun.
Yes.
That is my junior league sister.
Oh,
my
she-
sister of the heart.
Yes, she is a wonderful, wonderful. Oh, I miss her so much. We're still friends.
Yeah.
And so I worked for the past 11 years with students again. Got to teach my own
On your
children.
schedule.
On my schedule. Met some of the greatest friends that I could ever have.
That's awesome.
And then I kind of fell into this.
That is
so
awesome.
now I'm doing academic librarianship, and this will be how I finish out for sure.
That's great. Okay, so we hit the highlights in that. Now let's dig
Yes.
down into the nitty gritty of all
Okay.
that. Okay, so we met at Girl Scouts. We talked about that. And so after you left Girl Scouts, is that what you went to do? Did you go to the library system then?
Yes, I went to the library system then, and then that's when Michael and I got married.
I remember when you got married.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I left Girl Scouts for libraries.
Okay.
And so, yeah. Wow.
So did you leave after I left?
I think right before.
Right before
Right
I
before
left.
you left.
That's been so long ago.
It's a
I
really long time
vaguely-
ago.
Okay.
And then I ended up
'Cause that
working with
was-
another one of our coworkers, Angela Matthews, with Washita Parish Schools.
Yeah.
So we worked
Angela,
together.
yes. Yes. Okay, wow. That is interesting. Celia came to work here for a season, and before she went to ULM. So all of us Girl Scout people who were all together kind of.
That's crazy.
I know. That, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Probably tell us not to everybody else, so we're going to get back in more mainstream cover. Okay, so you got married to Michael.
Yes.
So did we show?
Yep.
And
Yes.
then, so tell us about these people.
Babies. Oh, yeah. So from the left all the way over, that's my son, Evan. He's 15. He's a freshman at West Monroe High School.
Handsome guy.
He is a handsome guy. He's a theater kid. Both my children are theater
love
kids.
Love it.
Michael and I actually met at the theater. And
Did y'all?
We did. We did shows together, and we were
Oh, my
friends, and then we
goodness.
were engaged by the end of the season.
Wow.
Talk about a
Yes,
whirlwind romance.
it was. But he had my heart from the beginning.
Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure we could find an 80s song to fit that.
I think we probably could.
I'm sure.
Well, we were in Footloose was our first show, and wasn't that like an
No,
80s?
it
So I mean,
is.
yes.
Oh,
That's perfect.
No
That's
wonder
exactly.
you love 80s.
It is. And so that's Michael. He works for Century Next Bank. He is, I don't even know his exact title, like a compliance vice president person that looks over documents and says if they follow the law or not.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Okay.
what he does.
That's what he does.
Okay. And that is me. And then my daughter, Emily Grace, and she is 11. She's almost 12. She's in 6th grade at Good Hope Middle School. I left her behind. And she's also a theater kid, a dancer,
Oh.
an avid makeup shopper.
Oh, honey, we would
Yes.
connect right there.
Yes, you would. You for
Oh,
sure would.
yes.
And they are just, yes, I love the fam.
What's your favorite thing about parenting?
Ooh, my favorite thing about parenting, honestly, I was not a great like little kid parent. I don't have a lot of experience with small children. It's not my thing. Young, like teenager and up, has always been my favorite thing. So as my kids have gotten older, what I appreciate more is the conversations that we get to have, and the in-depth conversation, and them getting to have real opinions.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so, like, that is my favorite part of parenting, is watching them grow into themselves and, like, nurturing that. And instead of them having, like, mom and dad's opinion, watching them develop their own opinion and helping them along in that process. That is my favorite part of parenting right now.
That's interesting. That's the part that I didn't like. It's like, why are we having this debate?
Yes, I love that part. But you probably
what I
like the
said.
littles. Did you?
Well, when I was married for 4 months when I found out I was pregnant with Alicia, and I was not trying to get pregnant, but I guess there's an argument to say I really was trying not to.
I bet there's an 80s song for that too.
And then when Alicia was 4 months, and I cried. I mean, I was not ready to be a parent. When Alicia was 4 months, I found out I was pregnant with Ashton. When he was 3 months, I found out I was pregnant with Amber. So, birth control, I guess I just did not do very well. that was not my thing. But the thing is that I wasn't ready to have children that early in my life. I got married at 20. And so I wanted to have kids. My plan was I wanted to get married early because I rarely leave home. But I wanted to get married early. But I didn't want to have kids until I was in my 30s because I wanted to finish school. At this point, at that point, I hadn't finished school. I wasn't settled in myself and in my life like you and Michael were when you all...
Or we thought we were.
Or, yeah, we all think we are much further ahead than what reality says. But, I wasn't ready. And I remember I went to, because Lawrence and I were poor and didn't have, much of anything. And so he was just finishing school, working his first professional job, and it wasn't, a whole lot enough to get by. But I remember going to Pregnancy Lifeline to take the pregnancy test, and that's where I went each time that I was pregnant. And so the third time that I went twice with the first two. The third time I knew I was pregnant. But the second time she said, "You're married with a husband who loves you and is supporting you. Why are you crying?" I was like, "Because I'm not ready."
But your kids are so amazing. So,
girl, there's always a journey and a behind the scenes details on that stuff. But
Yes.
I mean, gosh, I was so not ready and so immature. And you're saying you and Michael weren't as ready as you thought you
No, you
were.
never
And
are
I don't
ready.
know that, there are a lot of books on parenting, but I don't know that, they can prepare you for some aspects of it, but until you're in the trenches, honey.
That's when it comes out for sure.
Yeah, and that's a whole different story.
Well,
It's like, these books are not helping me right now. I
know.
mean,
Well,
what do I
learning
do
how
with this?
to walk away and not have to answer the question right then has been the biggest thing that lately.
Great.
Like when I get asked something or I get put on the spot by my kids, like I don't need to respond immediately. Sometimes I need to say, yeah, I don't know. This is new territory for me, and I really don't know how to answer that. And you're going to have to let me think about that for a minute so I can come at you with like some truth and not just
Whatever
snap.
comes in your mind.
That's
Respond.
humility and discipline, and that's a very good answer.
I'm trying. Now, I'm
That's
not
a
great at it.
No, but that's really, I
Being
mean,
aware of that is
looking
is
back
really
in
good.
hindsight, yeah, that is really good, because as parents, we can make the mistake of feeling like we always have to have an answer. And feeling like you always have to have an answer can make you respond in haste and incorrectly. And your kids are absorbing everything. I mean, they absorb everything, and you're fashioning and shaping these little people's ideologies,
They just pick up on all kinds of things.
and fashioning their defense systems, how they protect and their survival, their method of survival skills. I mean, you're helping to fashion all of that.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, man, when
could
my
have a
kids
whole-
were adults, I was like, I'm so glad they have professional jobs where they can get counseling for the
Yeah.
for the gaps, the places where Lawrence and we just didn't make right decisions on stuff, and it happens.
It totally does.
No one's going to parent perfectly. What is it that you took from your mom and dad that you are playing forward in your role as a parent?
Oh, and they're probably watching too. So, hey, Mom, hey, Dad. They've already come to the campus and met everyone.
Love
that's
it.
sweet.
Oh, for sure. And so they were very much a big push for me to always work hard. You don't get anything for free. My parents did so well for themselves. They owned a business. But when I turned 16, I remember I was out to eat for my birthday. And my dad was like, "Are y'all hiring? Because she needs a job." And I got hired on my birthday. And so, he was not playing. And they always have really inspired me to work and to make sure that I am providing and to just to be consistent. I was adopted, and so my adoption story plays a lot into how I was parented. And so I very much treasured my mom and my dad because I knew that they were specifically really, really chosen for me by God.
Yeah.
And so.
And they chose you.
Yes. And so it was it's beautiful. And so they still are my biggest cheerleaders. And I mean, again, they've come to tell Miss Liz and Miss Marty their cornbread recipe and came to visit.
That is
and
so sweet.
So they are like my biggest champions, and my kids and my husband's biggest champion too. So
That is awesome. That is awesome. So your role as a librarian. So how early in life did you realize that was actually a career?
Oh, okay. So this was not something that I actually thought I was going to do. So I started college in biomedical engineering.
You are a long way from home.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I, as a 18-year-old female, I thought, ooh, the boys will be in the engineering classes.
Oh, I like
Not the kind of
way
boys you're
you-
looking
Yes,
for.
I was kind of going for my misses, and so and they were there, and I was not cut out to be an engineer. Immediately knew that.
Okay.
I don't like science and math, so I don't really know what I was thinking.
Oh
Right,
my
right.
goodness.
I really was only there for the boys
For the
at first.
boys.
At first,
That's strategy though.
I was like,
Did
oh.
your parents question you to say, why are you choosing this?
I don't remember, but I do know that when my mom went to buy my engineering textbooks, because they're like ridiculously expensive, she was like, are you sure?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because you don't like this, but I wanted to do stem cell research, and I just wanted to do all these new things. And so after one quarter, I moved to the English department
Yeah.
at Louisiana Tech.
That is hilarious.
Go dogs.
And started, it took Dr. Crittenden. at Tech, I apologize for being in your engineering class. He asked me at one time if I could just not come back. He was like, I don't think this is for you. I'm like, it's not. I just have to finish for my scholarship. Like,
Yeah.
I have to finish your class. He was like, maybe you should just not come back.
Yeah.
So we're in agreement on that.
Yeah, totally. Like, I will never be an engineer. I'm so sorry. I will not enter this building again.
So what did you actually make in his class?
I made an A.
Okay.
Yeah,
Look at
I drew
you.
like sparkly unicorns on my final exam to like
my
exhibit the physics of like what the weight of the unicorn would be to jump over the Crystal Bridge. I still remember this, and I had like all these sparkly like gel pens. And I mean, and the math was right. Like my math was mathing. I'm book smart enough to get by, but I'm sure he was just like goodbye.
Sparkly
Yeah.
bridge. And I bet you that was a first for him.
Yeah, I hope he framed that because he should have. That was
You probably
that
gave
was
him
gold.
something to talk about.
Oh, yeah, probably right
With the
in
rest of
trash.
his colleagues.
Yes. And so I went to English and ended up getting a job at the Lincoln Parish Library, and I liked it. I've always liked to read. I've been reading nonstop since I was a little. And I said, well, I'll never teach. So like, I don't know what I'm doing in English. Maybe I'll write, and I still would like. That's still a goal of mine one day.
Oh, wow.
But Jeremy Bolam, my supervisor at the time, he was like, I think you would make a great librarian. And I was like, I don't want to go back to school after this degree. Like,
Period. I
because
felt
a lot
that.
of people don't realize you actually have to have a master's in library science
Yep.
to be a
A
librarian.
Okay.
And so I was like, but I don't want to ever teach. And so he convinced me after like my first evaluation, which was terrible. He was like, and I'd love to
I
talk about it.
cannot imagine you having a terrible evaluation.
I was so immature and so not ready for the job that I had. And it really took some humbling to be told at that time, like, you have a lot of growing to do, like mentally
Yeah.
and professionally, but I see so much potential in you. And when I tell you, like, he changed my whole entire view. Like, we are still very close to this day.
But don't you just appreciate people being
Yes.
honest with you?
Yes.
But also respecting that you're human.
Yep.
And positioning what you need to know in a way that's easier for you to digest.
100%.
Because it's not going to be easy. Because nothing, I mean, being told that, anything unflattering doesn't feel, it never feels good.
No.
But he respected that it wasn't going to feel good and gave it to you in a way that you could hear it.
He did,
and grow by
and
it.
push me to grow. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you said. And I'm an Enneagram 3. I'm all about some Enneagrams, and like I
Me
do not
too.
like to fail. Like failing hurts. It is
I'm a 3
painful.
too.
I see that. I totally see that.
That
Yeah,
is,
oh.
girl, we are sisters.
We are. And
that.
so to not be good at something was new for me. And it was something that I really had to sit in for a little bit.
You were up for the challenge, and it was a challenge.
It was
to
a
you.
challenge.
Yep.
And so here I am, finished my degree and
I am not going to have another evaluation like this.
never again. So, yeah.
But you did what it took to not have that.
I did. I learned
evaluation
so
again.
much, and I pushed myself to learn about the profession. And I have a natural curiosity for things. I want to know why. Everything that
Yeah.
I hear, like, I'm always like, okay, but why?
Yeah.
And so this job has always nurtured that for me, but it's also different every single day. Like that's the blessing of it. You never know what you're going to walk into. It could be an easy day of some things that you know the answers to, or it could be some of the hardest questions in your life and you don't know the answer right then, but you can find it.
Yeah.
And getting to learn alongside the person who asked the question. My first day at Delta, woo! First day of classes, Miss Marty was ill, and so I had to start off by myself. And like our nursing students, they hit that library at 7.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
They are there. Shout out, y'all are awesome. Y'all will take care of me one day. I will do anything for you. And they were like, "How do we log into this?" And I'm like, "I have absolutely no idea. Like this is week 2 for me."
Right.
And so I was like, nursing students had been here. I need you to show me. You only have to show me once and I'll get it done. But like, let's team up together.
Yeah.
And let's figure this out.
That
and
takes
so,
humility, man. That's such a great characteristic that you have, that you've learned to value, because it's going to so help you in your leadership. And it is already helping, proving dividends for you in learning and just being able to, cut short the time that you're going to need to get up to speed. So,
Yes.
yeah. Well, great.
I know.
So what's one aspect of your personality or character traits you feel or that you prize most when it comes to leading?
I think that when it comes to leadership, one of the most important things for me is that you always lead alongside the people you're with. I don't even like the term leading. I want to walk with you. If I'm not willing to walk boots on the ground with you, then I shouldn't be in charge of you, so to speak. And so I believe that leadership is a side-by-side kind of thing. And so I want to walk side by side with those that I lead, to learn from them and let it always be like a reciprocal kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that for me,
That's great.
is the best thing about, like, that's what I would like to tap into. That's what I'm trying to tap into and working on. So
What's your biggest challenge?
in leadership or life,
Leadership.
feeling confident enough in knowing that I do possess the skills that I need. I know that sounds kind of silly because
No, it doesn't. That's real.
yeah, like
That's real.
I struggle sometimes with that confidence of knowing, like, no, you do have this
Imposter syndrome.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, that's common. That's common. But here's the thing: what you don't have, you can always work to develop.
Yes, and I'm very honest and upfront. I told my team when I started, hey, there's a lot that I don't know, and so, like, we can talk. You can call me out on it. Like, you can say, hey, I don't know why you're making this decision. Like, let's talk about it. 100% open to all of those things. So
That's great. Those are the things that will define your leadership and ultimately define your department, and the things that you all are able to do.
and it is such a strong department. So
And the safety that one feels to be vulnerable with, their supervisors or even their coworkers is so important in a job. We talk about this a lot. We spend so much time here.
Yes.
More time here than we do with our own families at
Exactly.
times. It's important to feel safe, also heard and seen and valued.
Yes.
And allowing vulnerability and honesty and transparency is really the only way to accomplish that. So that's a great skill that I really like to hear in your leadership that you're practicing and actively working on.
Yes. Yeah.
always a work in progress.
Always, everyone, always.
sure.
and you're leaving the door open for your people to be able to grow. In fact, you're just as who was it, the guy, your boss,
Jeremy?
just as Jeremy pushed you to grow and out of your comfort zone in some things, you'll have that opportunity to do that with your people, because who knows what their potential is.
Right.
But you'll be a part of helping them to discover it, which is such a privilege and a blessing to be a part of a whole other person's life like that.
Well, Darian, you were really inspiring to me when we worked together. Not going to lie. Back at the
Really?
Girl Scouts. Yes, you always were so put together, and you always had such a good perspective. And I still remember traveling to Alexandria to
Yeah.
different things, and like the way that you led was such quiet authority. Oh,
Wow.
it was, yeah, I still remember that. Like
That is amazing. You never know who's paying attention to you. And so, I think that's something that we all have to be cognizant of. And you don't have to be a leader, by title, to be leading or
very true.
influencing.
a title is only a title.
It's only a title. It's only a title, and a person with no title can influence, more people than a person with a title.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but thank you for that, because I had no idea. We just, we all just go through life and just doing our thing, But yeah, thank you for that. Is there anything that we haven't touched upon that you want to share, Cameron? You have questions?
As a we'll just end the feature on this. As a performing arts kid myself, I did want to make sure we showed this photo of your kids in the theater.
Oh, look at there! Now, which play was that?
So
Yeah.
The Music Man was the first one. Evan was one of the quartet, and Emily was Amaryllis on her Amaryllis nights, and then in the chorus on her off nights.
Oh.
And then on the right, that was the two of them just recently in December at our Christmas show, and they got to sing together, and it just.
That
is
made your
so
heart
sweet.
happy.
Did. I love it
Yeah.
because they may not get along great at home, but seeing them on stage together, my son likes to say that's true acting. It just,
That is your kid.
it is my kid.
That is your kid.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And so they're both so talented. Evan wants to do this for a career. Emily
Does
loves.
he?
He does.
How about that?
Yes, he is very much interested in theater as a career, and so
Oh
she.
wow.
And Emily just loves the community part of theater.
Yeah,
And so
yeah, the
Is
social
yeah,
aspect.
I was about to say, is she a socialite?
very much so.
Look at
She
her.
loves all the people, all the things. Wants to be involved in everything.
That's awesome. And I do want to ask real quick, what is your favorite role that you've gotten to perform?
Oh, my favorite role that I performed was probably I always like ensemble roles.
Yes.
I'm
Those are fun
not-
because it's low commitment
It
kind of,
is.
but you can still have fun.
You have a lot of fun,
But you
So-
don't get a lot of attention paid to you, so you can like goof off a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got to be my very first show was Chicago at
Oh,
Strauss.
that is so
And
great.
so it was my first intro into theater, and I just loved the background. I love Fosse. Our director Scott Baronet.
I was going to ask you who was the
It was
director for
Scott
that.
Baronet, and we just had such a good time. It introduced me to like a whole community of people where
Yes.
And it's-
your quirkiness or your
Yeah.
uniqueness, instead of it setting you apart, it's celebrated.
Yeah.
And I love that the most about theater. And so, I played a lot of other random roles over the years, but Chicago was really just dancing and, having a good time. Oh, I love it.
Is the brick wall still up at Strauss?
It is. And your children's names are still on the
That's
wall.
I
Yes.
wondered. Yeah, that was
love
so
it.
fun.
Michael
yeah.
actually directed Amber in High School Musical.
I loved that. Was one of the best. That was
Yes.
so great.
We
That
just
was so
redid it
great.
last year. So
And that's interesting too, because you think all things come full circle, because that's where I met Nan Cogburn, who was the boss
at
of
Girl
at Girl Scouts, where Stephanie and I met.
man,
Yeah.
it is full circle.
It is. It's full circle.
Community,
Monroe is so
man.
small.
It's the community.
Yeah, but it's wonderful. Wow, so I hope you all have gotten a chance to get to know a little bit more about Stephanie Wilkes, and can see that she is already such a treasure and asset to us here at LDCC. We're so privileged to have you.
Thank you. I love it here. This has been a dream transition and a dream job. So
Awesome.
That is great. Well, look, do we know who we have up for next week?
No, I don't think so.
We don't
but
think so.
We
Okay.
will know.
But one thing's for sure, Cameron and Ryan and I will be back with you on Monday. So have a great rest of the week, y'all.